I'm actually a little upset right now. I should have sat over there. This isn't my good side.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to see pictures of the chairs.
Actually,
Yeah.
Location,
Yeah.
I have to see that. Strapped down.
That's what I was.
well, they said
what
they
the
were
straps
temporary
look like.
chairs,
Maybe
so
it's to the
it
ground.
couldn't have been much of an incline. Because, I mean, those are, we just talking just chairs. You know, they're not like stadium seats or anything. They said they were strapped down, so.
It's kind of weird, I want to see that.
Yeah.
We figured out her age, what is her age? 60?
said late
50s,
50s,
they
late
said
50s.
50s.
But any kind of injury that sounded pretty bad, later on things can, how do you say,
Accelerate,
can,
deteriorate.
Yeah,
like
'cause
she may
it's
have had that problem forever, but they may have made it worse from just that injury.
That's my thinking.
Yeah.
Could have aggravated.
It could have
My
aggravated.
thinking, look,
There
you
is that,
know,
always. that case.
The older you get, you always have little tiny aches and pains. Just like I have, you know, a little bit of arthritis in my hands, but nothing that I ever even think about. But if I went somewhere and my hand got crushed,
No.
could
you know,
tell
after it healed, it
Hold
would
on
be
one second.
terrible, you
Yeah.
know.
He misunderstood. We want to start
Yes,
the Wanda
we
Herron
wanted to
video.
do
so
that.
Okay, back here. Great.
So,
Go to it.
question,
Yeah.
before we start like deliberating and
Yeah.
stuff, are
Oh,
there,
get you some documents.
yeah, are there any pictures of the seats?
There's one or two photos over here. Let's see. Do you want to hand out documents or anything? There is a photo of the seat. We'll give you all the documents now.
Is there any pictures of like her injuries?
Yeah, of the bruises and all that. You're gonna get some photos. I did. Yeah. These are the jury charges that you can hand around. We put 3 copies of everything. You can do that later. That's the law. Okay. Jennifer will hand out some stuff. Yeah, there's some photos. The medical records are in there too. More details on the
Is
diagnosis.
this whole packet like one packet of it, or is
Yeah,
there?
those are the charges.
Oh,
But
so
you can look
that's
at the titles if you, tells you the burden to prove, what you can award and all that. You don't have to go through all that necessarily, but it's there for reference.
Yeah, I apologize, the photos are in black and white, they're not that great. If you wanna see the color, I can probably, can we get Dropbox on a laptop?
Can ask Mark if we can do that, yeah.
So for starters though, we'll get this going.
Okay.
We did 3 copies of the photos, the medical records, and the documents for your review, so you just kind of pass them around as you need. Okay, and at this stage, we ask that, as you would with a jury, if you need to take a break, just come let me know so we can kind of pause everything and so you're not in and out while we're trying to deliberate. And then lunch should be here in about 40 minutes, so.
And do you have any questions for either of us at this point after listening to the video?
This is the picture of the seats?
Yes.
After.
After.
Yeah, you know,
After
probably,
the
we,
fact.
They
because
taped
And
it
this
up.
is,
Yeah.
they taped it up, so it doesn't show
It doesn't
the
show much of
bar,
anything,
or,
I'll
and there
bring in
were,
that color shot that we have.
there were people in, all 4 of the seats, none were empty, there were people in all the seats
Yes,
when this
that's
happened?
my understanding.
That would be the
idea
leg.
what that is.
I think that's the leg.
That's
that-
right.
It's a leg, but
I'll have her show you color photos. I don't know if she can send them. We'll bring those up. We'll let Mark know.
everything.
Any other questions right now?
Well,
I guess one thing to me is just like, once the arena acknowledged that their
Yeah, it can't use it.
There's a-
equipment was faulty, you know, it's like it's gonna affect them being in the fault. If their equipment was faulty,
They are at blame, but
but to
is
what
what
degree?
she's complaining of, is all of that because
Yeah.
of that?
This, I think
I
this is
think-
the
I don't
main thing,
think
the
I
back.
all
think
that
they're,
serious.
I think they're willing to
Acknowledge the
concede
leg
that,
injury.
yeah, that, yeah, the
It
seats were
injured the
wrong.
leg, but all of her
Okay.
neck
Right, the
back and
other stuff
she's
that-
an old lady and that's just part of life.
She's about 10 years older than me. She ain't that
Because
old.
she wasn't complaining all that much.
Well, I think that's what it was,
I
the
mean-
time lapse.
It was, I didn't have the money to go, it didn't seem to be as big an issue until time went on.
And then like it goes from it really, really hurt. And I know if
Well,
I'm,
okay, go ahead.
I was
sorry,
gonna
go
say,
ahead.
I'm the type of person, if I'm really, really injured, medication or not, I'm gonna take the medication. And she wasn't
Well,
taking
but
anything.
But she. But,
And she was still working
But there
every
are
day.
people who don't take medication who,
Right.
you know, they
Because
probably.
people are fear of the opium. 'Cause remember with pain therapy, she's like,
But
I don't
how would
want-
you be able to work every day, take care of 2 people?
Okay, so it's a tear. It's a
Mhm.
it's a tear in the
Muscle or ligament? That's what we
of
don't
the
know.
ligaments around the disc or muscle around. So the tear over time, it could be tiny at 1st
Mhm.
and just a twinge, and over time it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because it's not gonna ever heal until she has the surgery. So that's what I'm assuming, only because I know somebody who had, not in the lower back, but in the high back, they had a tear in the ligament, and it started out as just every now and then, ooh, oh, what's that, you know. But then over time, as they continued to work, and it was more and more, because it was tearing more and more and more. And then like over time, when it wouldn't tear, it would kind of it would be there, but it would subside to the point where they kind of, you know, if you have like a dull ache or something, you just put it out of your mind, maybe, you know, you can get over it. But then something would happen and it would tear some more. Then it's shooting pain again for the next 2 months. And then it would subside to a dull ache, and then something else would happen, and until they got that surgery, it got worse and worse and worse, and just over time, just kept, it never stopped, you know, because it can't heal.
But do we think her leg getting smashed, do we think that
See,
caused the
Yeah,
tear in her
no,
back?
Those are
But
the color
I think
pictures.
the jerking and trying to get out
And also
May have
could have torn that,
exacerbated it.
And
or
because
torn
if
it?
she's doing this,
Yeah.
And those are the color pictures of the actual arena too,
Yeah.
the chairs too.
I wonder if this shows like that leg.
Yeah,
It looks a little swollen, but it's also closer to the
Well, it's in the
camera.
color picture, so it might be easier to see.
I wonder if there's any video from in the arena of the incident.
So the medical
probably
says
not. Her
here,
leg is swollen though.
so the medical report only kind of states
Yeah.
that it's a small contusion to the left shin. She was complaining it was below her knee on the side.
Which would, I guess, is where
So it may have
whatever
just-
bar hit her somewhere on the
What
shin,
trapped her.
trapped her.
I think it's this right here because it's circled, so I guess it's. that's
Tenderness
what's
to
like-
the base of toes of left foot.
Oh, okay. So the chairs flip up, and this comes down on her shin because she's close to the chair. Because that's the only bar, right?
Yeah, and it's circled, so I'm assuming it's circled for a reason. so-
Okay, okay. Yeah, that would be pretty heavy. And yeah, she's trapped because the people are sitting in the chairs. The weight of them is keeping her trapped underneath it.
So when she crossed over this person, she said everybody,
Yeah,
these things, so only the back goes back a little bit, not the whole chair, just the
Does
back.
Anybody
goes
down
back.
here need to see? I think
That's okay.
I'll let her see.
So this is the incident report from the arena.
This is just the same.
same thing.
There's no puncture, it's just a really bad,
Right.
bad,
I think she, assuming she really did get the back injury from there, and I don't know if I necessarily believe that she didn't have any.
Prior back.
Yeah, but I mean, you can have. I mean, look, she's up and down working all day. She could have some minor back issues. You know.
Can we talk about how she explained the incident? She was crossing the guy. The
Yeah.
guy said to her, I can't move, I'm worried, I'm gonna.
No,
punch
that
you
was
in the
after
leg."
it fell on her. That was a guy trying to help her.
Right.
Was saying, I don't know what to do.
But I think when she was crossing
She said she
over
crossed
him,
front-
he didn't.
front of him.
Yeah.
And he's
He
doing
leaned
back.
back because he didn't know what to do. That's what she
And
was
then
saying. Yeah, but that was before.
bar.
Yeah, and then it flipped.
Right, so
That's
it
what-
flipped on, he didn't wanna move while she's still stuck
Right.
there. and then she said she leaned over to her left.
Oh, that would make
Yeah.
sense because
To
if
get
he's
out.
flipped back and she's trapped,
Right, so it's
he's like, if I lean
sort of
forward,
this
it's gonna
you're
get
the guy,
worse.
You're the
Yeah.
guy. So you're coming, she's coming here, and the thing flipped on her
And
leg,
the
which
thing's
is
on
right
her.
there. Yeah.
So he can't move.
He can't move. She's decided. Well, the only thing she could do is go to her
Is
left.
twist to get out. Yeah.
So that's. I just want to go over those little.
Yeah, because she's kind of
Action.
trapped under him. He can't lean forward to even get out of the
Right.
chair.
She said
because
less
it's
than
gonna,
2 minutes.
You don't know if it's gonna crush her leg.
So who did help them? I guess who got
Somebody
involved?
figured out. Where's the? You
I don't
need
see-
the
She was
guy.
confused.
You need the guy.
She wasn't actually sure how she actually got free.
How did it?
What do we think about the confusion?
Well, there was a lot of confusion
I
to me
have,
on the video.
I have some thoughts on
Because when
that.
somebody's
She didn't even know
locked
how
in
many
pin, that
grandkids
means
she
it's
had.
hard to get
Well,
you out.
Yeah.
I hate.
This
I
is
hate
just
to
the
say
words
it,
that they use.
My
She
my
knew.
father-in-law,
It wasn't really pinned. She just got
going
napped.
back like almost 12
Well,
years
she said
now,
she
he had a
Mhm.
stroke,
Right.
So
and right after that, they noticed that he was early onset Alzheimer's,
Okay.
and he used to be just literally just like that. There were just these
Oh, there you
little
go.
things that he
Glitz.
couldn't put together, like the
Right.
number of grandkids. She could name the individual, how many each
Yeah.
person, but she couldn't put it together in her head to, and he was just like that. So that has nothing to do with this case, but I just see it, you know,
Yeah.
because she's kind of talking just like him. Can't remember place names or places she's been recently, but older stuff, no problem. Can't is having a problem putting together new memories, and timelines
Right.
are very fuzzy. I know this happened, but I can't put them in sequential order. So I
Well,
don't
now
know.
some of the recent memories she seemed to, oh yeah, real quick. But then there were things like that were past memory, like she couldn't remember when she graduated.
Well, that's
Right, 'cause it's-
Most people know what year they
Well,
graduated.
well,
She
well,
could, and that was
numbers throw
behind,
people-
and she got
Numbers
some.
and names throw people off with
Yeah,
those
but
strokes too.
she knew the dates of other things.
Because it's more
you know.
current, or maybe,
Well, that's-
you know, that day.
1986, she remembered the date she started her business,
Well,
but didn't remember
Right.
when
Yeah, but-
she graduated.
That's a
Maybe
separate
pretty
thing.
significant.
Well, I mean that has nothing to do with
Yeah,
it.
well, I was
yeah,
just,
her
you know.
memory is it's not the problem here. The problem is her leg. I want to know the injury,
Mhm.
and she's trying to sue for the fact that the chair was responsible for hurting her.
I think it's
Did
back
y'all want to
to
see any
incorporating-
pictures here?
Oh, we have the color ones. I think
Yeah,
I'm
the color
okay.
ones-
I'm
Yeah,
okay
they
with the color.
yeah.
brought
so-
some, thank you.
I'm okay. So
is
what
this
do
all
we?
the
Because
same?
I don't.
Yeah, I mean you
Okay.
can see the swelling.
All right.
She said
Right.
she's not suing for past cost medical. She said
Yeah.
for the
But
surgery.
she said yet the wages,
Yeah.
yet
For the lost
Right.
wages.
It's more
yeah.
like she wants. She feels she needs surgery for her back, but everybody always needs surgery on their back.
Right.
But
Because I
I'm
think
still
the
trying to
leg,
go over the fall.
She's just, I think she's just trying to relate this issue with the cause of her back injury being
What
so
cause?
severe that she needs surgery.
Yeah.
So she's
right, because
trying
that's in her
to
mind, yeah.
get it. Not saying that she's trying to get over, but I don't mean to word it like that.
Well,
She's trying.
also-
She's trying. That's what she's trying.
and
That's her
also-
argument. That
and
this
the
all
age-
stemmed from
And
this.
the age is just a window, because that happened to my mother. My mother kept putting it off, and then my mom got a certain age. They didn't feel comfortable about doing the
Even doing
surgery, and she
Yeah.
regretted that she waited so late because it affected her quality of life and her mobility.
Right.
Because you think, oh, I do it, and then you get scared or you don't want to do it, and then when you commit to it, they're like, well, you got an older now, you don't feel comfortable.
We don't know if we can do because
Yeah.
you may not come out of it right.
So
This is
Because, and my thing too is when she was originally going to the doctors or getting x-rays, how come, because,
that costs
It
money to do
does-
an MRI. It costs money to do an MRI. It's at least $2,000.
And you got to have a referral.
And-
right, but the x-ray, they wouldn't do the back when she originally went to the hospital.
Well, X-rays don't really show
But
as
if
much.
they did with X-ray, it's
It wouldn't show
it's
like
not
an actual-
Yeah.
it's
I
she
trust
shouldn't have
Yeah,
broken
she would have had
bones.
to have an MRI.
And
Yeah,
like
the
Dr.
X-ray
Oz
wouldn't
said,
show anything anyway.
To go into the emergency room is just to get you a diagnosis and follow up with your primary.
Yeah, they just patch you up. They're not gonna do.
Okay,
They
so what did they do to her on the ER when she went to emergency room?
Yeah,
What was
the first time.
They
What was the
just,
first-
just
they
dealt
did
with the
X-rays.
contusions on her.
Right.
They
They
did
did
an
do an
X-ray on her
X-ray?
leg.
They did do an X-ray and it said no signs of fracture,
Which
contusion.
is
But
right
they didn't
here.
do anything to have anything to
And
do with her
foot,
back.
right.
Oh, they didn't even
Because
touch
she
her
never
back.
complained about the back. But
Well,
she
that's another
originally
thing.
said in her video she did, but she didn't actually
The only
mention
way
the
they
back.
looked at MRI, she
Well, they
said
didn't
that
do
if she was
anything.
in a
I didn't
car-
say that whether she actually complained about it or not.
Right. If she may be in a car accident or a major accident, they'll do an MRI. But MRIs are usually outside of the hospital. That's why they try to get you to a point and then they'll tell you, well,
You need to go. You
And
need to have this done.
done.
This, yeah.
Okay,
The
so
one I
from
get
the
closest to.
X-ray is X-ray. It's just it's a little more vague than MRIs. MRIs are more clear. Is there a medical on MRI? What did they
Well,
find?
the X-ray, they would only have done the X-ray to make sure that she didn't have a fracture or
Right.
a break, because that's the only
so
thing
there
it
is
would
no
show.
fracture break.
Yeah.
So now we did an MRI, and what does that show? Do we have a medical on that?
The MRI she did September 7th, 2017, and it showed the degenerative
Degenerative.
spondylinosis
But that's on her
and
back.
That's her
narrowing
back,
of the
yeah.
disc.
But
and
MRI
tear.
was not done on her shin or leg.
Right. Wait. Yeah. No X-ray. Just the MRI was done on the back.
I thought the
MRI was done
MRI
on
does
her
your whole
back.
body.
Oh well.
Yeah, because they.
Well, if you stick
you
it in
can-
that machine,
you can
but it
have
did-
one on your whole body.
Oh, okay.
You can
But I
have
think
one.
that it was specifically
Oh.
it identified.
But I think that the reason she got
Right.
the MRI is because the chiropractor ordered the MRI because she's been having the back pain.
But it was a
So-
whole year later.
And then
It's
they
always
asked her after the incident happened, how long did her back hurt? Was it a month later, she said, or? I'm just trying to see how her back started hurting from
I
the
don't
incident.
think, yeah, the month later, she did not say anything about the back either. I think
Okay.
it was like 10 months after that
Yeah, 'cause
when
that's
she
when she
first
got
stated the back.
that day.
And that's
right
when she
there,
had her MRI.
September.
Well, what she said was
In
she
the video, it's
said
different.
she said after something like this, you expect to be sore, so I didn't think
Right.
anything. She said, and I can see that. I can see, yeah, you expect to be sore, and maybe she thought she was gonna heal or whatever.
But like, I just think a little bit of too much time kind of lapsed by if she was in that much pain. I feel like if she was still able to do that. I know you explained what you were saying earlier, but
Right, so
I think if she was still able to carry on her,
I think too, what was going on in her life with her mother having cancer and her
you think
husband
that had something?
having the heart issue.
But then how does she drive? How does she maneuver
That's what I
around?
was-
You know, when
yeah.
the doctor says, look, you can't lift anything up or you can't climb ladders, then how is she able to drive throughout that whole
The
time?
doctor never said she couldn't do that.
She said she could.
She said she
Okay.
couldn't because it
So
hurt.
how, so my
Well, she
question
said
is,
she
how
couldn't
does she
climb.
can't, how is
She
she
could drive.
driving and
Because of
helping?
pain.
driving, right?
But now I don't think when she says I can't do it, I don't think she said that she's meaning I physically can't do it. I think she means I can't do it without
It's
pain.
painful
Yeah,
situation.
that's,
And sometimes we don't have a choice. Sometimes you do have to suck up a lot of
You
stuff.
suck it up.
Because it sounds like, you know, your
Okay.
husband is sick, your mother got cancer, you're the only person seeing
and
like,
you sitting here talking about your back pain and mom's got cancer and your husband's got
I understand
whatever's
all
going, you know.
But
I know.
she was saying that taking care of them was her excuse for not getting treatment for 11 months because she only went to the chiropractor twice. They recommended an MRI.
But they gave her a shot
and
of
recommended
epidural.
stuff, and
Yeah,
then
they gave her
She got that later
cortisone
on.
or whatever.
and
Cortisone
it's
or
obvious she
epidural.
has a phobia too of, you know, some of the
Doesn't wanna
because
go.
with her uncle having back surgery and dying from complications from a back surgery, some people, you know.
No, I understand all the emotional part of it. What I'm trying to get specific details as to how this developed, because for me, I think, when you have a epidural shot or injection, and then you stop, and I don't trust chiropractors or real diagnosis, because chiropractors, they're all gonna say the same thing. They're all gonna say, I have a back crack, I have a crack, you know, thing, whatever. I mean, mine is always crooked. But I'm just saying in general, it's like I don't trust their opinion on it. And they could tell any client, new patient, yeah, you need surgery. Like, why is he recommending
No.
Well,
surgery?
she went to
The
orthopedic.
MD
Yeah,
She
the
went to
recommended
chiropractor
surgery.
didn't.
The chiropractor
recommended
recommended the MRI.
the orthopedic
Yeah, but he did an X-ray.
doctor.
He
is
did
the
an
one that
X-ray.
recommended the surgery.
Who did the X-ray?
I wrote down that sheet that she said the chiropractor did an X-ray.
Uh-huh.
Well, that doesn't matter whether he did or
And
not.
recommended
So
an
recommended her
MRI.
to go to a
And an
orthopedics.
But the
Okay, so-
recommendation for surgery came from an MD, not from a chiropractor, because the chiropractor can't recommend surgery. That came from an MD.
Yeah, that's fine, okay. And so she didn't do much chiropractic, is that correct? She only
She
went
only
like
did
twice.
Twice, yeah.
Was it 2 or 3?
And also,
Well, originally twice, but then after that,
And
I
who
think
put
they
the
just
epidural?
recently
And also
17.
Well, that's when she went back and she said it's not getting any better. Then the chiropractor recommends the MRI and she goes to the MD.
And then who put the epidural, was it the?
'Cause I'm
That was
seeing-
an MD.
yeah.
Did anybody have notes from when she went to the chiropractor? I'm seeing the x-ray said she had the inflammation neurodegenerative disc. Space
the
from an x-ray.
chiropractor?
From an x-ray.
Yeah,
From
that's
the
what I'm saying.
chiropractor,
Yeah.
November
Yeah.
2016.
Mhm. I'm just listening to the details that she's
Right.
giving me
So
versus
X-ray
what
did
I know what they do in
show the-
chiropractic.
Degenerative
And
disc.
also, I think too, looking at that she's a business person, self-employed, her insurance is not going to be like insurance.
If she has any.
If she has
Doesn't
it, so-
sound like she has any.
Right,
She
so
probably
she had
doesn't
to
have any.
decide what she could or
What
could
she
not.
well she said she at first I think the guy asked, why didn't you go to the doctor? She said, I can't afford it. I can't just go willy-nilly.
So the question is, did any
Mhm.
insurance cover anything? Nothing. Her insurance didn't cover anything.
Assuming she has any.
Okay.
And I guess
My assumption is she doesn't. I'm assuming she doesn't have insurance because I think if she had insurance, even if it's just a major medical plan, if she's got the cheapest insurance, they're going to cover whatever percent of the operation, and maybe she just sues for whatever her copay is. But she's suing for the whole cost of the operation, so I don't think she has
Well,
any.
even the arena, the arena is trying to protect themselves, but
Sure.
the case of this is that in some way, any facility that has a damaged, seat or whatever, yeah, if someone gets hurt, they get hurt. That's it. There is a liability there. People get hurt certain places, and
I can't believe the arena didn't.
But she said she still had
just like when you go to the
leg
movie
issues.
theaters, like sometimes those seats don't work, and you're like, okay, but I'm just saying in general, an arena to have that kind of that's a serious problem.
The real problem with her case is that she didn't make an issue out of this immediately.
Immediately, yeah. But then she didn't have real damage. She just had a bruise. It wasn't like a.
Well,
And
right? You don't know.
She said it still exists.
Didn't bleed.
Her
It
leg
wasn't
issue
a
still
fracture. It wasn't a
existed.
fracture hole that when she
Right.
says penetrated, like how long was it penetrated? Like I got stuck there. Like
And
it would have caused more of an indentation
The
to the leg.
cross-examiner also said, "Well, you only complained about your leg hurting and whatever." She said she's got shooting pains. So my wife has sciatica, and she's been diagnosed with sciatica from her lower back, but she always describes it as shooting pains up her leg.
That makes
So
sense. Yeah, of course.
so it's not that it. Oh, I can feel the pain going from here and it's going down. It's going. No, it does not. It's
But
like
she said over time her back started hurting.
yeah.
The shooting pain came later, not the instant that she got impacted by that thing. The
No,
impaction.
she said immediately it was shooting pain when she went to the emergency room. She said she had
She did?
shooting pains. Yeah.
In
But
the
not to
leg.
her back.
In the
leg.
leg.
But then again,
In
this
the
is
leg.
complained
what
about
she
this.
said.
In
She
the leg.
complained here and here.
No,
She said below her knee. She said below her knee.
Yeah, but
and on the side of
She
Below
said
her
shooting
knee
pains
doesn't
up her
necessarily
leg.
mean this far. It could mean anything below the knee.
Yeah.
Below the knee can mean your shin
Yeah.
too. So.
Yeah.
But she didn't say sciatic
She
nerve.
didn't
She
say
said
I
that
have
her back
pain
kind of hurt
here.
too, but she didn't say sciatic nerve yet. She just said her back kind of hurts too.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of mentioned it.
Well, she never said sciatic nerve.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
She never said that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Doctors diagnosed that later, I guess.
Well, to me, I think one of the things we're probably gonna have to decide is whether or not she gets the money for the surgery, and they're probably gonna ask for any supplement because after you have the surgery, it's probably gonna be a while before she's able to work.
And is she going to get 100% cured? Or is she going to sue again because it didn't work? I mean, I'm just saying back
She
surgeries.
can't get 100%.
She can't get.
She can't get
That's what I'm
100%.
saying. My point
Yeah,
is that
once it's done,
surgery doesn't.
Right.
Back
It can
doesn't.
only.
Well, the reason why I feel like she's not asking like for extra padding, like pain and suffering, I think she's gonna ask for the surgery and then
Come back.
after any.
Oh, well, they wouldn't, I mean,
No, not
once they
come
pay her, if she sues for the surgery, she's not gonna be able to sue for anything
Right, but I'm
else.
assuming she's probably gonna want some, after you have the surgery, you won't be working, like,
But she can't sue
No, I
for, she
mean, like-
can't come back and do, you
no,
can't
I
do that.
meant I wouldn't be surprised when they give us this, they're gonna give us choices.
Well, there's pain and
Pain-
suffering.
Right.
Extra,
Right.
then there's the bills that she's already
Right,
accused.
and
But she's not
but
going
that's
for-
pain and
Right,
suffering.
but
the
she's not
But
going
she's
for
not in her suit, she's not asking for
Right, I
pension.
said she's
trying to
not
cover the
asking for the
surgery.
before, but I wouldn't be surprised.
And in order
if-
to
Why
cover
is
the
she
she
not
has to
asking
be
for pain and
asking-
suffering? He even showed us a thing
Yeah.
to
'Cause she
figure out
went
the
to
pain and
17.
suffering. And he was
Yeah,
for the
but
year, which came
but
up to
the-
like 800,000.
No,
No,
it was
80,000.
80,000. It was 80,000, that's the cost of the surgery.
Surgery.
Yeah, the surgery. And then if you look at this sheet here, that he said that he was going to show us.
Oh, right.
The pain. This is pain and sufferings.
Yeah.
All of this, and he said $100 a day, and then for that came to this. But then he said for future, for
Right, that's
her
what I was-
life expectancy, and that's almost 800,000 right there.
Well, we are not gonna
Just
go
for the
that
pain
high,
and
but that's
suffering.
that's just a general estimate, but it will be up to us to decide.
If she gets paid.
Yeah,
Right.
but before we even decide all of that, do we think that injury of her leg being pushed up against
That's my point.
by the metal,
Because
is that responsible for her needing surgery for
that's
this
my point.
Well, I
disc,
don't.
which is an aging issue?
Okay, so
Right,
who's-
that's because-
who says,
Exactly.
who's 51%, yes it did?
I am.
Well, I'm not
I
sure.
don't
I
think
want to
it's
still
thin.
discuss.
Yeah, I
more
don't
things.
think
So-
she's
What- at this
trying
point,
to
what you've
get
heard
this
so
keep
far.
using
I
that
don't
term
know.
We gotta know where we're
degenerative.
going.
paid for
I
with
don't
this
know so
injury.
far. There's still
Because
So you're still
questions.
50-50.
I'm
Yeah.
still questioning more
Mhm.
details because what's happening here is in order for her to get, let's say we give her to her, she's going to get surgery. Well, she's getting the money out of the arena, so then they're going to
Yeah.
sue the arena for it.
That's
And
what they're
arena is responsible for that damage because there's no way. I don't agree. Any injury you go by anywhere, banks, whatever, and you fall down under their property or you get hurt, that's a problem.
I don't think
that-
they're
They
even
are
trying to fight that.
responsible
The-
for an injury,
Right.
but what injury?
That's what I'm
To
saying,
the
we're
leg
assuming
or
that-
to the back?
That's
Yeah,
correct. So
that's
that's what I want
the
to
thing.
clarify.
And my whole
what-
thing is
yeah.
with the MRI and even the X-rays, it keeps using that word degenerative, and
Yep.
just
Which is
because,
an
Over
aging
time,
issue.
you-
yeah, but just because
Well,
you
wait a
can't do
minute.
stuff you used
Degenerative
to,
also means getting worse over time.
Over
Means
time,
it's
that's
degenerate. Yeah, he said, yeah, that can be an aging thing.
Right.
Yeah, because we're all degenerating over time, but that doesn't mean that it's because
Of
of
that.
age. It just means it's getting worse over time.
Sure, and it
That's-
wasn't
that's-
because of that calf.
It
injury.
doesn't necessarily mean that it's an age-related thing. So that was implied, of course, from the other side.
Right.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that. But it also doesn't mean that it's not.
Right.
It could be, but that getting worse over time is just as valid a reason as
She
the
might
other.
have had that for many, many years, but the problem is that she says since she had that fracture, her leg, she's been having back problems. She never had any back problems before. So in some degree, I'm
but
just
my whole
thinking
thing
it does
is
have
that
some.
timeline too. That September 2017, which is
It
a
seems
whole
like she has
year
a high.
after the accident, but the whole time in the
She
video,
does have a
she's
high-
So
saying
what you're saying
she
is
indicated a
what
back
you're saying
injury.
is it's degenerating.
I mean, I just feel
Over
like in the
time?
video she
Or
indicated a
she's
back injury
thinking,
that
hey,
It really is-
I can
it's-
get this paid for by claiming that it happened because of.
The
That's true.
accident.
That's true
That's
too.
my,
Yeah.
But
And so-
the only thing that makes me think that she's not doing that is that she's not asking for.
A
whole bunch more.
right.
That's the only reason.
That's real.
Because
She
otherwise
did
I'd
say
be
not
like,
yet.
oh, it's a
I'm
money
still
grab.
stuck on
She
that
did
not
say,
yet.
not yet. She did say, for the lost wages, not yet.
Well,
But that's what I'm saying. That's
She wants to wait and
well,
see if
that's the
she's
part
gonna win or not,
with
or
the
how much.
but
surgery.
that you can't
Yeah.
you
Well,
can't
we
ask
can't-
for lost wages once you figure your. That's not how it works.
Right.
You can't. Oh, it looks like we're gonna win. Oh, let's ask for lost wage. You can't do that. What they sue for is what they sue for.
Yeah, but she said not yet. She may not know that, or
And I guess my
Maybe
thing
thinking
too is her
something
story was inconsistent,
She
and
had many
it
problems.
was
a whole
and
bunch of. She didn't. Know,
It's like, I guess with the degenerative thing that you're saying now, she's going to the chiropractor now, but it's 2 years and something later.
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
also indicated she's been able to go to work. There are certain things she can't do, but I just think like a job where you're standing, you're cleaning, you're bending over, you're doing all this type of stuff. If you have a serious back injury, I don't see how you'd still be able to perform those
But it
daily
wasn't.
duties.
But that's the degenerating part. That it means that it's getting worse over time.
Right.
So.
But the way that she kept saying it really
She doesn't
really
have
hurt.
she doesn't
And
have
so I
the-
don't see how
She
she
doesn't
could.
have the knowledge of how the generation thing works. She thinks that happened when she got hurt in the cab. That's what she thinks. That's her knowledge.
Well, I'm sorry,
And that back
gotta
problem's
eat,
been
you
going
gotta
on
eat,
for
you do a lot
years.
of- everybody-
Everyone has back problems.
Right.
She's had that for it just maybe, made it worse because when you get hurt anywhere, you fall down, everything hurts. But that one area that she focused on, like, my leg, okay. And maybe later on, she just felt it later coming back to her. It's like, wow, my back is now really hurting. Because like you said in the car accident,
But
you don't feel it till the next day. Your neck is like,
Right.
whoa.
Can
But
I
she-
see-
Yeah,
Can I see the
I
other
hit my
color
head, and that's what.
photos here?
Oh, but you know what? My neck and my back hurt. I didn't even realize because I was concentrating on my head.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to see. She's what are your thoughts on that?
I don't. Right now, I don't see enough to say that this injury is all from this one incident.
Right.
As of right now, I'm still looking through.
But do you
medical
think
records and
any percentage comes from the incident?
Right, I don't think so.
None.
I don't think so.
So you think all of it happened?
I don't see enough to where just one thing.
No, I'm not asking that. I'm saying any percentage at all. Let's say she had a back problem beforehand.
Yeah, no.
Do you think this incident could have done anything to worsen that back problem?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right. So then that's zero.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, it would be some percent. I mean, obviously, you get hurt. Everything could have been her age. How old is she again? 61.
She's 61.
She's 61,
now,
so
but she
this
was
would
in
have
her
been late 50s.
Yeah, when it happened.
That ain't that old. Not from where I'm sitting.
No,
These
but
chairs
body change.
here, which it turns out there were 3 of them, and it says that in one of the arena documents, that these 3 chairs that are connected together, they're not bolted down like these extra ones, they were separate. So these tilted back, and this
That-
bar came up off the ground, but it pinned her leg against the row of seats in front.
That's
Those are.
That seems like an awfully big
that's what I'm trying
distance
to
Yeah,
there.
that's, I can't.
And with
picture it in
those-
my
That's what I'm
head
trying to
happening
people
how
are
she
in
had
these
to have
tilted back, and
Well-
it says that hit her leg, but she's saying it pinned her up against.
Well, here's the thing.
Look at all
Those
that
are
rim.
not the exact seats. That's just the
React-
representation.
Representation.
That's not the exact seat and the exact placement.
Are we sure? Because they circled that. That
Well,
could have
because
been the
it's ye-
particular one.
Because it's years later. They couldn't possibly be the same.
Look at that
exact
space,
seat.
though.
Why is it years later? I'm sure they took the pictures when
Why?
the
She
incident
didn't file suit
happened,
till
or-
years later. Why would they have taken pictures on that day?
Look at that space.
But
though.
that could still.
Look at
This
that
is only
space.
3
If
years.
she had-
It could
if she
still
had
be the
fi-
seat because they said section 100. That could be.
It could be,
Section
but the
100
likelihood,
could've gone
I mean, they reconfigure the arenas depending on what's there all the time. So, I mean,
They change all the seating.
yeah. They
Look at-
change it to
look at the
theater
further-
style or,
look at the
you know,
further-
depends
Yeah,
on
they
a
what.
lot of-
more people
Yeah,
come
if
in
you
to
need more
accommodate
seats
it.
or less seats
I've
or.
seen more
yeah.
compact areas. That seem to be.
That's why they have
a lot
seats
of
that can
room.
move. So you
right
can
now
move
you
it.
can't see the padding of the seat down, so that makes a kind of a difference.
Yeah, the seats
So
are
the
up. You're talking about it's a
so-
lot of room, but when
Yeah.
you put the
When you put
the
that
chair
down,
down,
I could see
how much room is it?
And
Yeah,
then-
but that doesn't
and
seem
then
to
there's
stick out
a-
as far as the seat, and I
And then
just.
there's a over a heavier set guy. His weight could be projecting, and we don't even know exactly how it happened. That people lean forward and said, some people I'll get up, but some people when you walk by they won't get up, they just lean back.
Right.
And so
Can
yeah.
we hear about? Do they have evidence of the other witnesses? Are there any witnesses?
Yeah, I want to hear what the
Yeah.
people that were in those seats
Well, see,
said.
that's the thing. That's what I said. She didn't file suit till years later. Those
So-
people are.
Yeah, but
if
they have
it
witnesses.
happened,
They
if
have
all this
some-
had happened
yeah.
on that day, then they would have those people.
Was she the only one that got hurt? I'm just.
That's what
She
I
said
was
some guy
wondering
got his
too.
Well,
foot
did-
cut or
Yeah,
something,
because
but-
if you read,
Oh, yeah,
there
the
was
toe.
a report from the arena that said all the different instances that happened that day, which that was the only injury. The other were people sneaking stuff in and somebody fighting, you know.
I mean, I
But
believe
that
it
was the only
happened,
thing.
I'm just kind of
Yeah.
seeing, you know.
And
much
she
of it-
didn't even go immediately. She sat and watched
Right.
She did
the
get a chance to
performance
sit down, right?
and
right.
then went to first aid after watching the performance.
And then she declined further, like medical
Yeah.
attention, and drove home.
I'm
Yeah.
sure
And
after
drive
it
with
happened, she probably was so glad to sit down, probably, you know, scared her or,
Sure,
you know.
of course, that's
And
that
then,
kind of worried
and then
her.
afterwards, she let her son see his daughter. Then he walked with her to there. She probably was like, go see your daughter perform, and then I'll get her.
Sure.
Because that sounds like something a grandmother would do.
But I
She has
mean,
high
are
pain
y'all,
tolerance,
I mean, what y'all are saying is that because she didn't know she was hurt as bad as she was, that, I mean, because when you say, well, she declined medical attention at the time and whatever,
Right.
that, I mean,
She didn't decline it, there was an offer.
if you just think, hey,
It
I'm
put
sore,
declined on here.
if that's all, I mean, you're gonna, oh no, I'm fine, I'll go home, and you know,
Right.
whatever. And she went to the emergency room the next day, so when she woke up the next day, she realized, oh, I'm not just, it's worse than I thought. I'll go to the hospital.
Right,
So
but she went to the chiropractor only two
No, no,
times.
yeah, but that was later. That was
Yeah,
after she went to
after
the
that.
emergency room the first time.
Right, the day after.
Yeah.
Right, but-
So I mean, what would you do the next day if you feel
And
you're
that's
still
fine,
hurt?
she
Wouldn't you go
went to the ER the
emergency
next
room?
day, so
Yeah.
Yeah. I
what
mean,
was the diagnosis of that then?
They said that there were no fractures or anything, that it was just
Is it this
one?
contusion,
Is it the
bruising.
Gwinnett Medical
Yeah.
Center?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just bruising.
bruising.
There it is, April 9, 2017. Wait a minute, but this incident happened October.
I'm just thinking if I'm in her shoes, I don't see that I would immediately do anything different. I would go to the emergency room
Right, you
and they say, oh, you got some contusion,
Oh, so
we'll give
but
you some
this one-
medicine, you'll be fine. You're
Which-
like, okay, all right,
got
I'll go home and
recommended by
see if
the
I'm fine.
Chiropractor.
Now, a few weeks later,
6 months
I'm
later.
hurting. Okay, this something ain't right. Okay. And somebody says, well, go to the chiropractor.
But this one.
So she went
Right
to
away.
the chiropractor in 2016.
6 months
and
later.
that was,
10
That was
months.
a few
No,
months
she
later.
went there, and that's when they said they gave her the X-ray and they recommended additional treatment. But she only went twice and then didn't go for a whole nother year, even though she was already recommended.
well, what was the additional treatment?
Probably to get an MRI. I don't know. They didn't say. I
Well,
just-
they recommended an MRI, but they
Right.
recommended treatments, which she said was they were putting hot packs, you know,
Yeah,
on
but
her
so
back,
that's
which
just two
they do at the
visits. That's
chiropractor
more
anyway, to
office
loosen
visits.
you up for
Right.
adjustments.
That's
you know.
more
Right.
office
So-
visits. So that's, yeah, she's probably
Okay,
like,
so-
okay, I can do that at home. you
Can-
know,
Well,
So
no,
this is the
she didn't want to
emergency
pay
bill.
for it.
This is
She
what-
said it's
but this is-
expensive.
well, that too. I mean,
It
that's
doesn't describe
that's
any.
real. You know,
Yeah, but this doesn't describe what's happening to her. It doesn't say it's broken, it just says that they examined her tibia and fibula, everything. I just wanna know if it's okay, they don't show any details. Like this one shows a little
this
more
is just for the
details.
X-ray.
Yeah, I know, but what about an X-ray? Like, what's the diagnosis? What
Well,
did they
this is just the
find?
bill, so
Right.
this wouldn't show.
Right,
yeah.
so where is the diagnosis? I wanna know what they found.
They're just gonna give us a general term. They're not gonna probably go in detail. That's
But
why-
we should get details. This
Well,
is what-
because, you know, it's called with the medical privacy.
Yeah,
We're
maybe
not
we can't
allowed
see
to
that.
know certain things.
because it's not the
Are
actual
we not allowed
trial.
to see the details of?
What?
So if she doesn't, if you go to the emergency room and we just get a bill, we don't see the details of
It's
what,
not
what did they diagnose?
Just a bill,
her?
there is
There's
gonna be,
The hospital record should.
yeah,
Yeah,
which that hospital record,
but that was
this is
6
how
months
thick it
later.
is, so.
Yeah, it's 6 months later. That was
Yeah.
April 9th, 2017. Which she
So
went
where's
through
the
that.
where's the
Well,
emergency
Gwinnett
room
Medical
visit?
was
Right.
1 month.
Well, this one
Or
was
was,
10
no,
10.
Gwinnett Medical, that was,
This
what's
was
the
10/10.
date?
This one's April 9th,
Yeah,
2017, so that's later on.
This is 10/10, she went the day after.
Yeah.
Right, that's the emergency one, yeah.
October the 10th.
So what one are you looking for?
I'm looking at the
So
details.
you
What-
must have something different than what we have down here.
Here is an X-ray, it says X-ray of tibia and fibula. Okay, so these are just X-rays.
Yeah,
What
that's
do we
just
know
the bill.
about-
That's
what-
just the
I
bill.
understand. What do we know about these X-rays?
Let me see.
No, but that one's April, so that's later on.
Yeah, but okay, so
She
here's
went to the doctor
Gwinnett
again.
Hospital System.
She went there later
Here's the
again.
date here.
Is this a physical exam?
This is 10/10 here.
Okay.
I don't know what.
So here's the chart from the emergency.
Oh,
room,
okay.
10-10.
All right,
It's
cool.
there. Yeah, they
All
just
right,
had a
let's see
weird
what they
cover
got.
sheet.
So they gave her aspirin. Okay, like she said, they gave her stuff for.
Lunch is here, so if y'all want to go ahead and take a break.
So interesting, these cases is always so like, busy. You always wonder, like, maybe it's the chiropractor's bothering, causing her back to hurt more, you know, because you hear so
Yeah.
much stuff, you know what I mean?
Not all chiropractors.
And then maybe he aggravated her back, like she, you know, made it worse.
When you were giving your personal,
Uh-huh.
you know, opinions of chiropractors, not all chiropractors are bad. Not
Right,
all
right,
of
of course
them are
not.
gonna. Because I've had several who have. You don't need that, you know, and they'll actually recommend certain exercises for you to do. Some of them
Sure.
to correct the problem, so that you don't even have to keep coming back to them for treatment. You know,
Or at least a physical therapist, I definitely would.
well, chiropractors.
But chiropractors,
you know,
I like when they adjust you, because I always need adjusting. I play volleyball, so I like, just adjust me, that's all I need, and I'm good.
see,
but-
there are some that don't like just the crack and goes. Though.
Yeah.
Cracking, though.
And if she's not used to seeing a chiropractor, you know, just anything can just change at that moment, you know. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But, yeah. I mean, it's just wrong that a place, she got hurt like that at a place like that, that's wrong. You know, anybody can, it could have been really bad, you know, it could have really punctured her, made a hole in her ankle, you know what I mean? And then really,
I would think if the people were there and, you know, the heavy guy leaned back to let her go through, which you stand up so that the seat goes back, you know, it makes room, that's what you do. But anyway, they did that and that thing came up and hit her leg, but she's saying it pinned it against the thing. He didn't know what to do. She's trying to, I don't know that I'd have been thrashing about trying to wiggle it loose. I'd have, you know.
because everybody panics different.
But you would think the guy comes back up, you know, lean forward, back up the way it was, because that would bring it back down off. If that's
But if
what
it's on
got
her
it over.
leg, he can't come back forward. If it's on her leg,
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it got on her leg by going up, you would bring it back down.
she said it came down on her leg. It wouldn't be pinned if it came up. It would move her leg out of the way. It's down across her leg.
If it's on the floor, how did it come down on her leg if it's on the floor?
Because of the people lean.
It would have had to have gone
It would
up.
just have. It would just.
So which one happened first?
It couldn't pin her if it was going up. It couldn't pin her leg anywhere.
So which one happened first then?
What do you mean?
Did she go by, and the minute that they moved
I
back,
think what's happened. She's.
then
you
it
know,
went pop?
the
and then it
row,
came back down on her?
the rickety row is this way.
Uh-huh.
I think when she walked by, everybody leaned back,
Right.
and when she kept saying her left leg, but
Yeah.
it's her right leg.
Yeah, it sounds like it's her right.
Her
leg.
left leg. Even the
She has to
doctors
know
say
leg.
it's her left leg.
Well, then
Which-
if it's her left
so
leg,
it's the inside leg.
if it's her left leg, where's the color up here?
When she's stepping and took this step.
If it's her left leg, then this picture is flipped.
No, because she
No,
turned
because
to
she
the
was
right,
walking-
going that way.
She's walking that way.
These are the temporary
right.
seats.
She said she turned right when
Right.
she went to the aisle.
Right, so she was
Yeah, so
just
she
walked
said she
straight.
turned right straight.
She said she
So
was
she got-
facing down the row when she walked.
Right,
over.
but she
Right.
made a
But
right
she turned
so
to
she
her
got
right.
pinned
Okay,
against
but
the
look at
front.
this. Look at this. This is this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm walking this way, this can't pin my left leg.
It
My
can't if
left
you're
leg
walking.
is over here.
No, your
against
left leg
this.
is right here.
Yes,
This is your
my
left leg,
yes,
right?
my left leg is
Yeah.
right here.
So it was
If I'm
pinning.
walking this way, the seats that came
You
up are
would
over
think it would
here.
hit the right leg
Are
first.
over here.
But when she's walking, if she's in the step like this is the leg that's forward.
That's true.
It can come up and get that
Well, then
leg.
she would have to be walking like this in order to.
Well,
No,
I
it hit
mean,
her
your
left
legs
calf.
aren't going to
It hit
be...
here. It hit here, her left leg here. So like he said, if she's walking like this, and then it happened, you know.
Well, then how did her right leg not get
Because it wasn't right beside
It was a
that
freak
leg.
accident.
She's walking, there's space between
Yeah.
the
All right.
legs. Because that was the first thing I thought of was, it's odd that it would
would
be that
think.
leg, you
Right,
know,
right.
so.
But
I know
my
it's
thing
good,
is,
isn't
it's
it?
like when she,
I said,
It's like
I,
really good.
I know, I looked out, there was
when
a
the three of them
food truck.
simultaneously,
Giving them out
she started,
downtown.
they move back, and then when she starts walking, then poof, it happened.
But the leg isn't so
Right,
much
that's
the
what-
issue anymore. She still has issues with it, but it's more
Seemed like that recovered
the
over
back,
time.
right?
Yeah, the leg is not really even.
Well, she said it
Yes,
still
it
hurts
is
to
because
this day.
it's drawing
throbbing.
up, which is cramping, and it's
But
causing
it's
her
because of the
feet
back.
to
It's
draw.
because of the back. It's not because of the. It's not because of the pinning.
It's because she's low on potassium. That's
I was thinking with the
People who
cramping
take
maybe.
high
I was
blood
thinking the
pressure.
cramping maybe could be
yeah.
potassium.
People who take high blood pressure medication, which I'd
What
be
does she
curious
take?
if she's on high blood pressure
Because she
medication.
had a
I've
stroke,
taken
but-
high blood pressure medicine for 10 years.
Yeah.
I've never had cramps.
Well, no,
But she
it
suffered a
depletes.
stroke.
It deplete. I take high blood pressure
That's,
medication too. No, it depletes your potassium.
It can, but
Exactly,
But
and a lot of
it's
people
rare
have to
for
take
people.
But she had a,
Actually, a lot of people
Yeah.
take a potassium supplement with their high blood pressure
Well,
medication.
my friend don't have
Or
blood
dehydration.
pressure, but it's him and his daughter had it just something all his life. He's been a deficit in potassium,
And it
remember-
depends
Because that's
on
where
your
you get the
diet if
cramps
you're
and
getting
stuff,
enough
right.
potassium from
but
it.
the year before she suffered a stroke.
Right.
So what
Yeah.
meds are she on that? Like what stuff? And
Yeah.
and of course that can have depleted again any kind of minerals on her body.
But here's the thing, though. I forget. They'll probably tell you. There's a legal term for it. Basically, it means you have to take people as they are. If she's a stroke patient
Proximal cause.
from before, and she's prone to whatever, if she gets hurt, they have to deal with her as she is. You can't say, well, you were already like this.
Sure,
You know,
sure.
it's like if a young person and an old person walk into a grocery store and something falls and hits them on the head, and the young person's fine, and it kills the old person, you can't say, well, she died because she was old. You can't say that. You know, you have to take people at that's the precedent. So if whatever was wrong with her before, they have to deal with it. It is what it is. You know.
Are we locked in?
We are locked in? I'm scared.
No, just push the other door.
Don't get hurt.
They did that on purpose
No.
because they
I
didn't
was
want to
getting a
just
little-
come out and say no seconds.
Getting a little scared. What's in here?
Well, speaking of no seconds, I'm going to get some more of that chicken.
If there's any
It was good.
I mean, I feel bad. I want to help her, but I'm just saying how I gotta look at the, the proximal cause. That's what they said. You know what I mean?
If she was suing just for the leg thing, I'd be all in for it. Because of course it happened because of the leg, but just, I don't feel like it's enough to make me think that all this surgery for her back is stemming from this one incident.
I'm like him. I'm just not convinced enough that. Because I just feel like she doesn't really seem to know when she injured her back or why it hurts. She's just associating this one issue with, oh, it must be because of this that happened to me as to why my back is
If she
hurting.
said she was absolutely sure with that conviction.
Mm-hmm.
If she said she
And
was
she said, I'm 100% sure this is...
really,
Well,
that
she's-
would make me think
You know
that
what?
she's
not-
lying.
she's not really lying.
But she just-
I
I
think
just
she
feel
just
like-
doesn't remember. That's
Yeah,
but
but
I'm saying
it's
if
just-
she was absolutely sure, who can say you're
But you have to have a
absolutely-
clean bill of health too. To me, like
Yeah.
other stuff that's going on.
I mean, look at Dory. Short-term
Well, I'll
memory.
tell you the funniest thing she said. She said I was absolutely healthy except for the stroke.
Look, I heard you cracking. I was thinking the same thing.
I was like, oh, I was perfectly fine until I had a heart attack. that
And
right?
even strokes can cause a lot of tension all over the body. You know?
That's true too.
Yeah, like the
However,
heart. That's
no
not the
doctor
case.
has said that. But maybe the
Well, we don't know
medical,
that.
maybe the medical expert will say that.
We don't have the stroke report.
Right.
It's unfortunate.
For all we know, the stroke
A lot of
could cause symptoms
memory.
of no, it could cause symptoms of
You can mess up a nerve or something that makes
yeah.
Yeah, lack of oxygen. It stops a little bit lack of oxygen, which causes memory loss a bit. You know, you're depleting some of that.
No, I'm not talking about memory loss. I'm talking about pain.
Yeah. But same thing. I mean, you do lose memory. Like sometimes they forget strokes.
But she didn't even know she didn't mention the back in any of those visits to the doctors or anything.
Well,
Or the ER.
I'm not saying she didn't. I'm not convinced that she didn't say that because I've had some health problems and I've gone to the doctor and I've mentioned things over and over and over, and they key in on one thing and seem to forget all the other stuff I said. Unless they
So-
keep mentioning it to them, you know.
So October 9th, she went to, she got the incident happen. November 10th, she went to
So
a
the
chiropractor.
infallibility of the doctor.
No, October 10th, she went to the ER, and then November.
Sorry, and then November 10th, a month later, she had 2 visits to the chiropractor, which they did an x-ray. There she complained about her back. A month later, MRI was suggested and they diagnosed her for the herniated disc on her lumbar area,
Right.
number 5, whatever, blah, blah, blah. L5S1. Which is the big lumbar disc.
So she has the burden of proof on proving that that incident caused her back
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
So has she met that burden of proof?
Somewhat.
Okay, for me,
Somewhat.
she has. However,
Somewhat.
I can't give 100% of the fault to Infinity Center because she's waited so long. Because if let's say here's what I think happened. I think the twisting and whatever caused the injury to the back, caused a tiny injury to her back. And I think and a month later she said, okay, I got a twinge in my back. It hurts. So I'm gonna go to the chiropractor. Okay, and the chiropractor says, well, you need to do this, whatever. Of course, he's not gonna, if you're just complaining of a twinge, he's not gonna order an MRI. He's not gonna order a whole battery of tests and do all this stuff because
He recommended it.
well, hey, what he probably said was, if it continues, you're probably gonna need to get an MRI,
Rather than, he might have said or something, it's going to say exactly what he said in one of these documents.
Well, what you
Well,
said,
Well, hang on. I'm not finished yet. Hang on. So at this point, 1 month or 2 months later, it's a tiny, maybe even a microscopic tear. At this point, but she goes back to, and she knows she's got a little twinge in her back, but it's not enough that it's stopping her from doing anything. Take an aspirin, keep it moving. Got to take care of mom, got to take care of common law hubby, whatever, go back to work. And as she's working, that tear is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's starting to hurt more and more and more and more. And 10 months down the line, now I just can't deal with it. Now, if she had complained immediately or done something immediately and actually went and got that MRI, she would have known then, and then it would have been a tiny problem versus a huge problem. Maybe it could have been, I don't know, maybe it was surgery then, but maybe it was an outpatient surgery. Or maybe it was physical therapy, or maybe it was whatever then. But now, 2 years down the line, it has gotten progressively worse, degenerating, and now it's to the point that there's nothing you can do but surgery. So, even though I think the problem started with the incident with the leg. I think the fact that she didn't do anything about it for so long has exacerbated the condition. So some of that blame has got to be on her. You know, it's like if my doctor tells me your test came back and you have a tiny tumor that's, we noticed 5 cancer cells in your brain. Now, it might grow or it might not, but you need to do something about it. And I say, I don't know, I'm not going to do anything about it. I can't come back later on and say, well, you know, now I've got a tumor the size of a grapefruit in my head, you know. Yeah, it started back then, but some of the blame has got to be on me because I didn't do anything about it. Or I didn't follow the doctor's recommendations. Let's say that. But
did she not in the ER say that she went to the emergency room, they checked out her leg? She did say, and my back hurts too, but they didn't emphasize on her back, they didn't do an X-ray.
They said she didn't say her back.
But she said her back.
Yep. And because they didn't write it down doesn't mean...
You seem confused to
Yeah,
me.
she said, I don't remember if
she
I
don't
did
remember,
or
she did
not.
not, right,
Okay.
right.
Okay,
And so then
so-
the doctors just focused on
Yeah.
her leg, and they did an X-ray just on her leg. They didn't do an X-ray of her back or...
But the
did
doctor, it specifically said in that she never said anything about her back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Until a month later,
Well,
when it started.
what
hurting
are they?
throughout
Well,
the
first of all,
Yeah.
they've gone back to the doctors. We can't rely on either one of their memories to what she said because they didn't write down at the time. Nobody writes down, oh, she didn't say anything about her back at the time. Nobody writes that down.
No, I'm just
But
talking
You know
about...
what I mean? So
If
they
she-
came back. They
Okay,
came
if
back
she's
months
in
or
the-
years. Hang on. They came back months or years later and said, "Did she say anything about her back?" And of course, they're going to say, "No, she never said anything about her back." From the legal counsel of Gwinnett Medical Center.
But won't they ask you, what are you in here today for? What's bothering
They
you? If
write
she's
down
mentioned
right
your
then
back,
and there.
they
If
should
she'd
write
have
that
said
down.
anything about her
Maybe
back,
they-
they
do
would have
they?
written.
They do.
She
And
wrote
then you
it.
would've looked at
Absolutely.
the
They're
paperwork.
supposed. I'm saying they're supposed to.
Absolutely.
No, but they
Do
give you
they?
the paperwork.
I hear you,
They
but-
give you
Maybe
the
they
You
did.
know
paperwork.
what? I'm just
And if I
saying.
didn't see anything from my back, I
They're
would've said
supposed
something.
to. They're
So
supposed to
should
listen
she-
to every
should-
single thing.
Should
But
she
do
be
they?
suing the
I understand.
hospital because they did not record that she said her
That's
back and
another
she
case.
says she said her back?
Right.
She
That's
doesn't
another
know what
case.
she said.
But you know, I go
She
to
doesn't know what
doctors
she
too,
said.
and I
Right.
tell them specifically what's wrong. I mean, I see them write it down.
Well, how often do you go to? We're talking about the emergency room. How often do you go
But
to the
they give
emergency
you a
room?
printout of
And then you come
everything
back
they did.
and, well, when you walk out, you say, oh.
First
And
thing
then
I
they
do
tell
is
you
look
what
at my
pain tolerance you
paperwork.
have from 1 to 10. What's your
Yeah,
pain
Right.
tolerance?
They
You know,
put all
Your
that
back
down.
hurts? Okay,
Does
well,
the back hurt?
is
What
that
else
a 1
hurts?
to
Is it
10?
1 to 10. What's your pain
Where
tolerance?
in your back?
Well, it can go either way,
Lower,
because I had a
higher,
case
yeah.
where the doctor said he didn't say that, but they went and got a recording from, you know how the doctor speaks into the tape recorder, and on the tape recorder,
He did
it
say it.
said it, but on his notes, he just said
He didn't write
it.
because he didn't think it was important.
And usually some assistants start all that out. You know, it's not the actual doctor. It's the
But
people
when they-
who help
when
them.
when they add
The pre-op.
Right, when they asked the doctor, he said,
Yeah.
you
My
know,
point is, I throw all that out because all that from both sides, that's hearsay. Because you say, I said that, and they say, well, you didn't say that. Okay. You know,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
in the emergency room. People are in pain. People are look. They see you got bumps and bruises on your leg, and you're
I'm just
frantic.
curious.
And
that's
she
all.
said she was in pain, and she was kind of frantic.
Sure.
Maybe they're listening. Maybe they don't hear what she's saying. Maybe she didn't say it. Maybe she thought she said it. I don't even pay any attention to that because I don't think it's kind of meaningless. There's no way unless you have an actual recording what was said, and just because she said it doesn't mean anybody even heard it. She could have said it and nobody could have heard it. You know, so maybe both are true.
Well, see, with me, just back to what you said, the reason why I'm not in favor of this one particular incident being related to the surgery now is because her leg got pinned, we know that for a fact, or whatever, her leg got hurt, we know that for a fact. It's just the fact that you mentioned twisting and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, how severe was the twist?
That would have had to
Because
been
if
a
it
lot
was
of
just something as
twisting
simple as this,
era.
I don't think, unless it's really her back was really was already messed up, something like this. And on top of that, she said herself she's active. And with her cleaning job, I'm sure she has to do some type of twisting.
But then you're making my point. My point is that it's gotten worse and worse over time.
No, I'm just
That
saying.
it could have started out really tiny.
But if she's already from years,
From the incident.
That's what I'm
from
saying. I'm saying it's like
86
from
already doing
years,
stuff.
forever, yeah.
If she's already doing stuff, and then I would assume that she's already active, already moving around. One little
But you're
twist
assuming
like that.
you're assuming
this
she
is
had
an
an injury
assumption.
beforehand.
No. I'm not assuming. I'm just assuming that since she's already moving around, out and about, or whatever,
Okay.
that a simple twist such as this
We don't know it's
wouldn't
simple.
do it. I
We
know
don't
that's
know
what I'm
that.
saying. That's what I'm saying. But she
We
never
don't know that
specialized
it
like, oh, I went all the way back here. I was contorted in a weird way. She didn't say anything like that. So that's why I'm thinking.
Something
She did say
fell
something like
on
that.
her left side.
And she said she fell over the seats in the
She
front.
did fell on her left side. Right, so when she got hurt, she went down,
Yeah.
but she felt she went down on the guy a little bit, and then they didn't know what to do. They kind of got stuck. So when you're holding your body, and you just got a reaction from a hit, sometimes your body has a delayed reaction pain, you know?
Are we
I
allowed to
just-
watch the video again? I don't remember.
Is there a video?
Yeah,
She
there's
said
a video.
that.
I
Yeah,
remember
Her deposition.
she said
She
I
said
fell
she
forward,
fell
I
over,
fell
backwards.
back, then
Yeah,
I fell
forward and
over
back.
on the people.
Right.
She never
That
actually
makes sense. That makes
flat
sense.
on the ground kind of
No,
thing.
but that
Well,
makes
she
sense.
couldn't
It's
because her
twitching.
leg is
Yeah,
pinned.
yeah.
She couldn't
Twitching
fall.
makes sense, you know? Because
But-
like, you know, anything
So that's the
impact on
twitch.
you
Yeah.
can have a
Here's
reaction to your body.
something.
But
Doctors, can they not tell if something has been ripped or torn, if something happened, or if something is a degenerative thing
Like I
that
said,
this is caused over time, or
they could.
this happened from an injury, this
Could.
it
You don't get
tore.
cancer right
They
away, you
can
get cancer
tell
over time.
certain things like that,
Yeah.
and that's not what they said happened, you know?
Well,
Yeah, I think
no,
they could tell
no
the difference.
doctor has said anything has happened. No doctor
Well, they
has.
said
they
that
haven't
she's got
said,
this degenerative condition.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that it happened because she's getting
Got
older.
hurt. Well, it didn't happen when she got
That
hurt
just
either.
means that's the name of it. That
But it
doesn't
just got
mean.
worse
And
over
also,
time.
we're just doing
It
a
just means it gets
correlation.
worse over
there's
time.
two
It
things.
doesn't mean that she's getting it only because that's a diagnosis. No doctor has made the diagnosis
Well, they're
that
saying both
this
things
is
then.
why this is happening.
Yeah, but could they not be able to tell if that happened right then?
I think
I
he's
would
asking,
think that
yeah,
they
can they
would.
tell
I don't
if it's a
Yeah.
difference between
Yeah.
degeneration or if
Is
it's
it over
something-
time or is
yeah.
it? Yeah,
Yeah.
If I was the lawyer and I wanted to
I
get
think it
more
would be.
details,
That's what the
Yeah.
I
medical
will ask
experts
the-
are going to say.
I will ask
One's
the-
going to say it happened because of it had to happen because of
I'll
some
get more tests.
some injury, and the other one's going to say it happened because.
They can do more tests. Yes, they can analyze and do more tests if she wants
But
to
it
be
still
specific.
just comes down to a doctor's opinion.
Wait, this is just a trial, right? Like our word isn't.
Right, well, each one of us gonna
I
have,
just- I
A
just-
doctor's opinion
I just
holds a
wanna make
little
sure I'm
more
not
weight
ruining this
than
woman's
and
life.
each one of us
That's
gonna
why
have a
they're
different
doctors.
opinion.
court.
Some people gonna say 70-30, some people gonna be 50-50, some people gonna be 80-20.
Yeah.
So what she was saying that we can select a 4-person, then they'll come in and they'll show us how we do our votes. Unless you guys still want to discuss it some more.
I don't think we're going to get in first.
Yeah.
She's got someplace she needs to be.
I don't know. Hey, we can stay as long as she wants. She
Because
just,
when it comes to in Georgia, you have to apportion blame. So it's just like you say,
we
if you
just gotta-
say
But I don't
you
want to
can
go over
say
opinions as
she's
opinions. I don't want to do
50%.
this by
You can
opinion.
say yes,
Right,
this
but
did
we're not
happen,
all
but
gonna have
she's
the same
50% to
opinion.
blame.
Right.
They're 50% to blame, or they're 70% to blame,
Right.
and she's 30% to blame.
Because I had a case where someone said she gets nothing, and the rest of us, we couldn't change his mind, so we did our votes, and he was like, I gave, or 10% or 20%, and he had some people that were to the extreme that were like
Yeah.
90-10. So like I said, we all going to have a different opinion, and this is just to give them an idea how they can either
Yeah.
Where
improve
to go
the
with it.
case, do more investigation.
Right.
Sure.
That's why
And the
they were
stuff we're discussing
right.
is the stuff
Now
that
I'm
they
saying
know they
that's why they're
key in
recording
on
this
more.
part so they
Okay.
can get more ideas.
Well, that's what I'm
So-
trying to. That's what I'm trying to do
Yeah.
is to bring out more because there's a lot of questions.
I agree with him that she gets some blame for waiting so long to treat
And not
or to
doing
do
anything.
anything, you know? But I disagree with thinking that her thrashing about or whatever caused, you know, that condition in her back.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's an opinion.
You know, clearly they're responsible because the seats weren't strapped down and they tipped over, so they're responsible. But I think for the damage to the leg, you know, I don't know that the cramping and that the stuff is ongoing from that. And once again, she wasn't doing anything to treat it for so long. I personally think she would be entitled to the emergency room visit the next day, the first chiropractic visit where she got the 2, visits, but then they recommended see an orthopedist, get an MRI, that stuff.
Right.
She waited 11 months before doing
That's
any
correct.
of that, and I
Right.
don't think her excuses for that, and so I cut it off.
Well, let me
right
ask
there
you.
is
Let me
where I
ask you
cut it
this:
off.
do you think is there a possibility that the injury to her leg and the way that it happened could have, not her situation, but could it, for someone, have caused that to happen to their
That's the
leg?
doctor's opinion.
Possibility, but we're dealing in more than possibility. It has to be more so than 50-50 that could happen.
So you think
for
it could
her
have
to win,
happened, but
I don't
likely
think there's
that
a
it didn't
50
happen. You
I
just
don't
saying
think
likely
Listen,
that
if
it
she
didn't.
said to me, hey, I had to help my family, but I couldn't help that because I had to be in bed and I didn't go to work because I couldn't climb ladders.
She
But
was
she
going
still,
to work.
she did go to work.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
thought-
if there were more severe where she couldn't,
Yeah.
then that would be like, wow, then she really had a
Right.
back problem.
Well, that's why they're doing calculating element of pain and suffering because they're not denying she was
Yeah, I think
injured.
she gets a little
They're
pain
just trying to
and
decide
suffering
what
for the
if
incident,
should be awarded anything or what percentage. So we're not arguing over she was injured. Is whether her injury was severe, and I
Yeah.
guess we'll decide that when we do our individual votes.
What amount of damage do we
Yeah.
think they're responsible for? So do we want to have them come in and
But first, you have to have
give
the
us
four
the paperwork
person.
and stuff? Yeah, we have to
I'm
vote.
still eating, I'm still eating.
Okay.
Thank you.
You know,
I like this rice, it's so good.
Oh, you get some
Anybody
more?
else
I'm
done
taking
there?
mine home.
Are
I
you
got my
done?
little extra.
No, I'm gonna go try
Oh, you're
some
gonna get
more.
more? Okay, you get
I'm
more
done.
done? I'll take it.
Oh, what? Oh, thank you.
So do we want to vote on a foreman real quick?
I vote for one of you.
It'd be great.
Who wants to be foreman?
Yeah, you.
Well, I'll use it on my resume.
Oh, you
If
signed
y'all
away.
are fine with that?
I'm
That
fine
works
with
for
it.
me.
Oh yeah.
Do you agree? Are you good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
thank
me
you, thank you.
And then after you come in, you can let them know, and then I'll give her our paperwork.
Cool, because I was always picked last.
Well, you know, four person is always going to be our
I'm a winner now, it only took 2 years.
I'll show you guys.
No.
And the thing with suing is such a thin line, because some people take advantage of the system, but then you don't want someone not to
What's-
get
that's the
taken care of because some people take advantage of the system. So
Sure.
you gotta err on the side
See,
of
that's
caution.
my-
I mean,
my
I believe
thing
her. I
is-
do believe her, but it's just,
Be-
really, it's
Be
the,
fair.
where is that part
Where's
where
the
it's
line?
more severe?
Yeah.
But and just because she believes it's true doesn't make it true.
Sure.
Just because she believes this is the reason this happened doesn't mean that.
That's right.
But we don't have anything else to go on. So.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, cookie.
What a-
Can you grab me one?
I'm trying to.
so
Can you grab me one?
I'm trying to save this cookie
They are
because if I eat a
so-
third one,
The
They are
cookies,
so sweet.
they're too sweet
too
and they're too thin.
I think-
I'm not happy with the
Look,
cookie.
I
I'm
like
having a
them.
I
donut.
think when you said too sweet, when you said too sweet, I'm like, how could a cookie be too sweet till I bit into it? I'm like, oh boy, that is sweet.
Oh, I love the chocolate cake. Today's my cheat day, no dinner.
look, I'm the same way.
I told myself, I said, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life by the time I hit 50. And on my 50th birthday,
God,
I
still
had gained 30-something pounds.
So now you can have sweets and go to sleep. You're finished.
I know.
The thing is eating more. See, like when I eat less, that's when I gain weight. I had to trick myself in eating less small meals, more meals, but just eating more often instead of just eating that one meal in the evening. And then be like, why did I?
I've been doing this little thing they call intermittent fasting, like, and
Yeah.
I
I
messed up
don't eat at
today
night while I'm
badly.
asleep.
But like, yeah, like you last
You don't
meal,
even
like,
have to. Are you doing it to lose weight, or are you doing?
like to tone up and just get more healthier in general.
I'm doing it for life extension. Intermittent fasting is, if you read the
Well, yeah,
The
it
studies
helps
on it?
a lot.
that it actually slows down the. I'm not even doing it to lose weight. I'm doing it to slow down the aging process.
They said it's really good for people like with diabetes and all type
I'm
of
a
diseases.
diabetic.
It showed
fast
really.
from 11:30 at night till 7 in the morning. While I'm asleep, I eat nothing.
I try to.
It's been working for
I
me.
tend not to eat while I sleep either. Not all the time.
I think the hardest thing is at night eating and snacking though. Like when it gets to a certain time and I'm
I
sitting
can't.
down and I'm just.
Well, that's when you have to trick
Or you
yourself.
stay up late.
To get something like a couple nuts. You'd be surprised how nuts fill you up. Or get applesauce or something just and eat it slow so you're tricking your body. This applesauce is actually ice cream and it's low in calorie. You can get strawberry applesauce, mango applesauce, you know, little stuff or chocolate covered raisins.
Do I
dark
close this or
chocolate.
they gonna
See,
come
with
back and
dark
get the
chocolate-
I just didn't know
With
how
dark
important
chocolate
insulin was.
raisins and things like that.
Like in
and
the body.
almonds. I always do a
Those are great
handful,
on
like
top of ice
4 or
cream.
5 at a time, and I notice I consume the whole bag. But when I just do one, suck on it, let it melt a little,
I can't
then
do
do
it.
another.
I can't do it.
I only do a third of a bag as opposed to the whole bag.
I can't do it.
I told the lady earlier today, we were talking about something, and I said, well, experts say that you are what you eat. So I try and eat something rich every day. Hadn't worked yet.
And then some people are just blessed with a
Mhm.
metabolism. Like my girlfriend, she ate like I sat there and watched her eat 12 Krispy Kreme donuts like it was nothing.
Don't you
And-
just want to smack them?
Yeah, and then she's like, oh, I might want to go walk. No, I'm fine. I might make me sick.
Genetics.
Remind me of somebody.
I did.
Is there an actress or something that people tell you?
Okay.
Someone told me about the
That's still
flip-flop
rolling.
house
I will
lady,
shut this off.
her husband, the Asian.
Oh, they might also. We have the audio. Though.
Individual,
Okay.
then we argue about the percentages, I guess.
Maybe you should do the jury verdict form and then those other forms.
Jury verdict form
do the jury
first.
first.
Okay. I have a question before
Yep.
we do. For them. But
For them.
Okay.
before we do the jury verdict form, this is the paper that the court gives you about stuff. Like it says burden of proof.
Sure.
Generally, preponderance of evidence. Do we want to go over any of those things?
No.
I think it's what we were been discussing. It's just
Whether
more-
the evidence
Do we
is
have that
direct,
paper?
circumstantial.
Yeah, you have it.
Right.
He's just talking about
conflicting
the individual
evidence.
jury questionnaire.
Verdict form, verdict quotient.
What are you looking at?
This is what the judge in the court gives the jury to let them know what the legal requirements are and
Oh,
stuff
may I
to
see that?
find stuff.
I don't
Yeah.
think I can.
So
Let me just see it a second.
donut was so good.
So, I guess the unnamed party is the,
No,
The stadium,
it's,
right?
it's only if, no. Gwinnett Convention and Convention and Visitors Bureau is the stadium.
oh, okay. All right.
Unnamed parties only if you think somebody else.
Okay, he said he wanted us to do the jury verdict form first.
We're all doing it. That's what we're doing.
No, the.
No, we're doing it. We were just doing the individual.
Yeah, not the
Yeah.
questionnaire. He said this.
The
That,
group thing.
Yeah, we all have
Do-
one of those.
yeah, he said they only wanted one.
Yeah,
turned
they're
in.
gonna turn it, but they want an individual one from everybody, but they also want one from all of us collectively.
Right, he said to do that.
So they want everybody's opinion, but then they want what we all come up with.
As a group.
Yeah. So you should have
Yeah,
two.
well,
You should have two.
I thought he just wanted the questionnaire, but when he pointed to the jury verdict form,
he
he
said
said
the jury
just
verdict
one
first.
of this.
Yeah.
Yes, he
That
did
would
say
be our verdict, but individually, they want to know what everybody thinks.
Well, either way, we probably all have to fill one out anyway, so we know what we.
I
stand.
thought they said only one of that particular page gets filled out, just one, is
It
what I
does.
thought they said.
That's what I heard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna fill mine out, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna fill mine out, so I know where I stand.
Well, I'm gonna get clarification.
I mean, independent stuff, yeah, we do that, but
Question.
I think we do fill it out,
Yeah, we do.
because it says at the bottom.
This particular form right here,
Okay.
do we all do one
We
individually
want you to
at
do,
the end of
each one of
this?
you to do it individually, and then what you've got here, we're doing as the group. So we want your individual thought on your sheets. So what individually you think about it. But as a group, when you render the verdict as a group, we want it on this form.
Oh, okay.
Only, yes.
one form.
One form for the group.
For the group, but we
But
each do
each of
this
you
as
do
well.
one
Okay,
for
I thought he
yourself.
said.
No,
he
I
only
understand that part, so all this we do.
Yes.
But the last page, just one form with our decision.
We all do the last page individually
You
as
each do
well.
your
and
individual
Then we're
form.
gonna turn in one for the group.
The four-person, that's why we had to pick a four-person, because this
Gotcha,
is the
gotcha.
group. So we want the whole group as though it was a jury decision, but we
Now-
want to know your individual thoughts as well.
Question, this page is only in this one, not this one. Is this one for the four-person? Not in that one. Do you guys have this form in your?
No, they don't. I don't know how they got out of there. There's on the, if you have any comments, if you'll just flip your page over and write on the back, there should have been a sheet that said
Okay.
if you have any additional comments, but it didn't make it in there. So if you have any comments or anything you want to say, just flip your whole packet over and put it on the back. Okay?
Thank you. That I misunderstood. Okay.
Looking at this, it seems like they give us an option. If we're not sure of the
Yeah.
amount, I would say just do percentage.
Yeah.
And then let them figure out the actual amount.
Yeah,
That way you have to do the calculations.
yeah, but,
So we can do the percentage and they still get
If
an
you-
amount?
Well, it's got a dollar.
Awarded
It's got-
to-
when
yeah,
you
with
see
that
it's got a
percentage,
dollar
I think
sign.
it's percentages of the whole thing, which up here is
Yeah.
$99,000. And I don't think it's even a percentage of that. I think she's only entitled to up to those first two,
2016, right?
you know, visits and then a little
Right.
pain and suffering,
Well,
which I
since we're
figured.
not gonna be unanimous on the
Yeah.
money amount, because some of us gonna might think
So-
all of it, that's why I say do the percentage part,
I just need one.
because they say or money, the exact amount or.
I'll do both. Oh, you're talking about here, assigning blame? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Percentages?
Yeah,
Is that what you're
'cause-
talking about?
Right, because everybody will have a different
Yes, I
amount.
know. Is this what you're talking about for percentages?
Yeah,
Yes.
I was only gonna do that, I wasn't gonna do the money part, because since it said either or,
What's an or, so I think
mhm.
choose one.
yeah, I was gonna do it that way.
Is, you know, if it was.
Sorry,
Now
it
we
took long.
gotta,
I would
Oh.
have
now we gotta come together.
Okay, now we gotta come
Now the
together.
real fight starts.
It'd be a
Oh,
sword
no.
But now you gotta,
10
you gotta
minutes
dicker
from
over
my house
who's
and I'd
gonna,
say, I need $10
Percentage
travel.
who's gotta come up, gotta come down, cause we gotta come
Yeah.
up with something
And it was
together.
only
Okay.
10 minutes away.
We can do it.
That's the real jury thing.
Mm.
Yeah, everybody comes up with their own thing, but then you gotta, they spend weeks trying to get down to, okay, so who's found,
Does anybody think we need to check down here in favor of the Gwinnett Convention and Visitors Bureau? Does anybody feel like we need to do a check there? No.
no?
Okay, so everybody thinks that we find in favor of Wanda.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Do you all
Did
think-
anybody
Did
do
you-
a total amount of damages, or
I
did everybody
I
do
did. I
percentages?
did both. I did both.
I did both.
Both?
I did percentage. I don't know whether it's gonna change once they get into court. Cause when you said that, not yet. You know, once you get to court, numbers can change.
Right.
So I didn't want to worry about the numbers.
Well, they gave her this is the total of what she's suing for.
Yeah.
This is what she's suing for.
Mm-hmm.
99,000, whatever it is.
I just kind of went through the
This
part
is-
where she,
This is it.
yeah.
I just add on the side caution because
Well-
the stuff do change in court number wise. You hear it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I know my percentage won't change. If they change their numbers, then they'll just get a calculator and figure out, oh, the judge increased it. So all they have to do is look at
But
it.
only the judge can do that.
Right. So I
Yeah.
just did that just for
Okay, so do we want to do both or just one percentage?
Well, because it says or rather than and,
You just want to do one.
I chose one.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody want to read out their percentages and then figure out we have an outlier or whatever?
We can
Okay.
do a range, an average,
Yeah.
I don't
that's
mind
what-
saying, I don't mind saying, I mean,
Well,
I gave
what-
her 25%
25%.
to her and 70,
She was responsible. Okay, I got you.
and 70% to the arena.
And
70 and
75.
5% to other.
Oh, there
Well, wait, 75% to other?
unnamed
Yeah.
party, if that.
If I'm applicable, it might be,
So you're saying
Doctors.
Gwinnett Arena is
Okay.
doesn't have any,
no, I say they
She
are
gave them
responsible.
70%.
but you said
No,
other.
I want them to be responsible for some of her damages.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so you say you're finding in favor of her.
Of her.
Okay. Are they 100% responsible? The
No.
Gwinnett Arena?
No,
No. Okay, so
They're-
how much are they responsible?
70%.
70%. Okay, so
She gets,
30% would go to her.
yeah, you could put 30%.
Yeah, but you had done 25% to her and then 5% to
Of
the
other.
unnamed party.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So which out of that 99,000, I guess we can go ahead and round that to 100,000. That's like $70,000.
No, I'm saying $20,000.
To her. $20,000 of blame to her is what she's saying.
No,
Just go with
20,000.
percentages. Let's go.
Oh,
Yeah, let's
sorry.
go with
You know what?
percentages.
I'm thinking
You're
20,000.
saying
She deserves
$20,000 to her, right?
$20,000.
Okay,
yeah.
See,
That's how we said
She's-
Well,
percentage.
okay,
then
well,
you
then
would
that's
only
not-
find the
Am I doing it
hospital
wrong?
responsible for 25% if you
Right.
So
think
that's
she
what I
should
meant the
only
word
get-
liable means
Yeah,
to blame.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I did it
So
wrong.
you think not the hospital, the visitors bureau, the arena is responsible for 25%.
So it's the opposite.
Of the $100,000.
And she's responsible for 70.
When you say responsible, I feel like she's being blamed for it.
Well, she is being blamed for it. That's what it means.
Well,
But I'm thinking
That's
of it
what it
like
means.
payout wise, not
Pay-
so
I'm
much-
It
talking
is
about-
payout wise.
But I mean, like,
but
you're not
it's
blaming
essentially
her.
the
So let me
same
say it to
thing.
you.
Yeah.
I want her to
Blaming
get
her.
20%.
We're not trying to be nice to her.
20,
here.
not
I want
25.
25. Give her
Okay.
25%.
So that would give
She
25%.
deserves 25% of all the things that she
So
paid
you're
for.
trying to give
Of all-
her
Of all the
$25,000.
Yeah.
something like
Of the
that.
100,000 she's asking
Yeah.
for.
That's correct.
What's up?
Okay.
So that would be 25%
25%.
to the
Yeah.
arena.
Arena. Okay,
Yes.
I did it wrong.
'Cause
Okay.
it's essentially that's blame.
Yes.
Okay,
And
thank
then
you.
75% to her.
Okay, I said the same thing.
Okay, you just said the same
Yeah.
thing? Okay, what about you?
25%.
25%
I said
to the arena.
70-30.
Who's the 30?
It's in the order. It was 70-30. 70 to her and then 30 to the arena.
Okay.
Okay, so that's about the same thing. Do you think she's entitled to 25,000, 30,000, or did you give her more?
Okay, I did 70% for her and 30% as the liability. The liability part is who I feel most responsible.
Yes.
Yes.
So
So you're
visitor
saying-
is 70% and she's 30%.
So you're giving
So it's
her
the other way
$70,000,
I'm 60-40.
and you're giving $60,000. 70,000, 60,000, 25,000, 25,000, 30,000.
So,
Yeah, I had told you guys before what I thought she was entitled to the hospital the first day.
Yeah.
And then to when she a month later went to the chiropractor to the first 2 visits with that. But then when she waited a year, that's all on her after 11 months.
Okay.
So I only gave her that, and then I gave her 30 days of pain and suffering from what they had on here for figuring out
Oh, I
pain
So
and
how much does
suffering.
that come up to?
So I gave her $6,000.
So basically,
$6,483.
so basically, so
I'd be willing to go up to $5,000 on pain and suffering, so that'd get her $8,000.
so basically, you're.
I
So
didn't even
let's
have
say-
pain and
payday
suffering.
So
for
let's
her
say-
day.
I didn't even have
Let's say
that.
you give 93% of the blame to
They
her.
won't even go to court for that.
Essentially.
But they won't even go to court for that because that's not even going to cover the lawyer and the court costs. So this
That's
won't even
different.
make it a
That's
small
court.
claims.
Wait a minute. First of all, that's different. That doesn't have anything. You don't ask for. You don't. That has nothing to do with what she's asking for. Her court costs and lawyers' fees. That has nothing to do with this number. Because you don't consider that.
In this list here.
That's going to be on top of this.
Yeah, and this
Whoever
is,
wins. So that doesn't have anything. To do.
the problem here is that it says future medical expenses. That hasn't even happened yet.
Yep.
So that's the highest one.
Right.
there.
Right.
And
we
that's
don't
something
even know-
that
yeah.
I'm not sure.
You don't
that's
even
the
know she's
part
gonna
I-
get surgery because she's so against it. So if you give her all this money,
She may
there's
not.
no guarantee she's gonna even do surgery.
Oh, they don't have to do that. They can put in the judgment that it would have to go to the hospital or go into trust in case she does get the surgery. You know what I mean? So they're not just going, oh, here's a check. You know, they could put it out. So if she never gets the surgery, then she never gets the money.
But what if
And
she
that's why
finds
I
like
did
a cheaper
percentage because
surgeon? Would she just keep the difference?
Nope.
then?
Nope. It would probably stay in trust for future medical expenses or something like that.
Okay. I took into consideration your 70,000, 60,000, 25, 25, 30, and then my 7. And added all those together and divided by 6 to get the average. And the average comes out to 36,000. Do we want to round that up to 40,000?
I'd be willing
Do that
to do
as the group
I'd be
thing?
willing to do that.
Me too.
Even though I think you guys are giving this lady a
Let's round down. No,
lottery win.
Well, I
no,
mean,
40 is fine. I
it's
know.
very dangerous. It could have been really bad.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
She got
who's
lucky.
to say that it just,
I'm gonna go there and I hope it's open seating. I'm gonna go look for some of those loose things and remove that strap because there's clearly no camera.
but
in
it did
there.
cause other issues and drama in her world, so. She does have a physical job, you know, that it's,
Definitely.
you know, on top of that she got hurt, caused more pain throughout the time.
Maybe.
I mean, that's a lot. 35, 40 years.
and then I guess when they come in, we can show what we did, and they can tell us if we did it the way they wanted it.
Alrighty, so are we done?
Can she take us out to dinner? No kidding.
No, they don't ask. They don't really ask how we do it because
Yeah, I told
they don't
her,
get to ask the jury.
Yeah, I
They
said,
just get the
if-
number.
If we need another 3 hours to deliberate, do
Uh-huh.
we get paid for those extra
No.
hours? She said, no, you don't. You're volunteers at that point.
Oh, well, this was interesting.
Well, I don't mean like
It
if
was
I
fun.
did it the number. You know how I thought how I did the number just to make sure that was right. Because sometimes they tell you
He's so funny. He's like 6,000.
Boy, there was a vast difference of
They're gonna do another
opinions.
20 or 30 years.
okay,
And then,
and
Great.
then they might change it how the voting.
So you're all done. That was tough?
Yes. Now,
At
the,
first,
for
maybe.
the 4-person one, we don't do that as a group. It's just that page.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, so jury verdict in favor of the plaintiff. Percentage is 60% to Wanda and 40% to the Gwinnett, which technically, just so you know, is that
Uh-huh.
if she's more than 50%, she gets nothing just by law. But no, we
Oh,
don't.
really?
That's
what
what
I'm saying.
Well, there we go.
I'm okay with that. That's what she gets for being greedy. She's looking for the pay.
See, that's the thing I wanna
On my
ask.
We'll leave the video here. Just,
On my individual
No, I
one,
don't-
she gets $6,483.
okay.
Oh.
Did you do it individually too?
That's
well,
how
here's the
I
thing.
did
Everybody
it.
found
Everybody
in
else
favor of
found
her.
way more.
But then we
We just
found
didn't know how to do the
her
numbering.
percentage.
So what were the numbers around the room? So So you were,
70,000.
70%. I did percentage, not
Yeah.
dollar, but I did
Yeah.
70% for liability for the arena and 30% liability
Why?
for her because of the delay maybe in treatment. Even if it wasn't her fault, maybe she could have got a family member to help out with the condition with her.
okay.
With her family, and the 70% because of the broken strap, it would never probably had even happened.
Okay.
But I didn't know how to do the money percentage,
fine.
so I just left it at that.
And your dollar amount would have been what?
See, that's the part we thought it was or. We didn't know we had to put money or.
Okay, what would your
or-
dollar amount be?
I would have did 100%, or 90% of what she was asking for.
Okay, and this is on here?
And it's 90.
Of this or just the medical bill?
See, and that's the thing. We didn't know we had to calculate this too, the pain and suffering. We
Yeah,
didn't do
pain and
that.
suffering, yeah.
I did.
So what would you do with pain and suffering?
Pain and suffering for future with her age, and I'll give her 45% towards pain and suffering, which I would have to
Calculate that?
calculate
So you thought $100 a day might be reasonable
for
pain and suffering?
how many, and then you add the years
Yeah.
with light
Did
expectation.
that analysis work for you?
Okay, let's see.
Boy, you giving that woman $500,000 for her leg getting squished. Wow, that's what it'll come to.
No, it comes
I want you on my jury.
That'd be 104,000.
That's for
That's for past.
Yeah. For
Well, you hold
past.
that thought then.
The
Let's go
future,
around the
that
Oh,
bigger
the
number
future.
down
Okay.
there.
60-40, 60%, 60% of the blame to Gwinnett Visitors Bureau, 40% to her.
Okay, and why is that? Well,
Because yes, it did happen. It did happen because of their negligence. But I felt like the injury probably did happen on that day, but her waiting so long and not seeking appropriate medical advice and following that has exacerbated it. So, you know.
do you think this injury was necessarily connected to
Oh,
what
definitely.
happened?
I do.
Okay. What about you?
I do.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
No.
Okay, so when we're saying percentage liability, just to make it clear, we're blaming the fact that if I'm for Wanda,
Well, it's mostly negligence. Did she do anything negligent?
Yeah.
And,
negligence, okay.
Yeah.
Also, that's different then.
yeah, that'd be different. You're kind of saying, I guess, more on the delay. You would just take that out. If you think that they were, their negligent act caused this, you would just make an analysis on what dollar amount. And you can discount that based on delay in treatment or whatever.
Right.
And
Well,
you would discount it, what this gentleman's saying, he would discount it 40% because she delayed.
Because she delayed, yes.
Okay, and so I'm for her, the plaintiff, so she, I'd rather she get back the money that she already spent on some of the problems she already had.
So you give her medical bills, already.
Yeah,
Would you
I
pay
was
for the
looking at
surgery?
this amount here, I wouldn't pay for surgery now.
Why is that?
Because I think that incident, the fact that the way it sounded like that impact on the leg, didn't last long. It wasn't another problem where it could have caused her back to pull out or anything. A lumbar is a very big muscle.
Did you have a problem with the delay in treatment?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Even though she says her back felt a little bad, it wasn't the focus because she kind of changed a little bit about her. It was hitting her here on the side of her knee, even though she was below her knee and then on the side here. And, but that's it.
You wouldn't give her the surgery because you don't believe it's related to?
No.
Okay. What's your thought on this?
I gave liability was 70-30, 70 for her, 30% to the stadium.
Right.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think that it was that one incident that caused that related to the. I didn't feel there was enough evidence to prove to me that there was that one instance that related to the neck and the back pain. Also, the delayed treatment really. It might not even be as bad as it is now if she would have got to it sooner. So.
Okay. And just with all these percentages, if she is more than, if she is 50% or more responsible for her negligence, like it was her problem she fell, does anyone feel like she was careless in the way she got across, Or you're just all going with the delay in treatment and what percentage of
Yeah,
that?
really, it's just the delay in treatment
Oh.
with me. That's what it is with me.
What amount would you award her?
I would just award her the ER visit, and probably like that month afterwards, I think. Yeah, the ER visit that month afterwards, but then everything else to the next year, till 2017, everything after that, it was on her.
Had she gone right in for her back and treated consistently, would that change people's minds
It
here?
would change
Yes.
my mind, yes.
Okay.
Percentage-wise, yeah, definitely.
Or determining whether it was percentage related for certain. Is that what you mean? Like, had she gone in, got the MRI right away, and had all that?
Well, let me be clear.
Yeah.
I think the incident at the stadium caused her back problem.
Okay.
I think her delay exacerbated the back problem. So I
Okay.
feel that if she hadn't delayed in her treatment, it wouldn't necessarily be as bad as it is today.
Okay. There is a charge we may not put in there. It's called a duty to mitigate. That might be what you're hitting on. There's a duty
Okay.
for someone to.
That's exactly
you
what I
can't-
was thinking.
You can't let your arm just bleed. You got to go put a tourniquet on. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes,
Okay. Regardless of whether your mother's going through cancer, you still got to treat.
that's right.
Okay. Good. Anything else?
No,
Sure.
that's all.
What about you?
I said 75% for the plaintiff and then 25% for the defendant. So if I was to like give her a monetary amount, it'd be like around 10,000.
Yeah.
Because I just wasn't convinced that her back injury had anything to do with her falling, and that was mainly because she was able to carry on her daily activities, it seemed like, for a whole year before she actually sought treatment. And I think in the earlier chiropractor appointment in 2016, they recommended she seek treatment, and she didn't. So it made me think that it wasn't as serious as she's playing it to be.
Okay. And this is to everyone. The fact that there was no reference to her back
Yeah.
at the hospital or the Gwinnett, did that have a bearing in your discussions?
Not to me.
To me,
Not
it,
you. Not the two of you, but to
yeah,
the
because her
others.
story kind of seemed inconsistent. Like, I think that she was, but I get the years have passed and stuff like that, but it didn't seem like she was clear on everything.
Okay. And sir?
I don't think that the incident at the arena caused the back and the neck issue, just the leg issue.
Why is that?
I just don't, I think she would have had to do a whole lot of thrashing around to tear her back, and I would think that a doctor could tell the difference between a degenerative condition or something that was acute that happened right then.
Okay.
So, and I felt like she was entitled to the ER visit the next day, and the month later when she went to the chiropractor, those 2 visits. But then when she waited 11 months, she didn't get anything after that, and I gave her 30 days pain and suffering at that $100.
Okay. Were you the foreperson?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the verdict amount? Did you all collaborate and come to a dollar amount?
We averaged it to like 40,000. We averaged up.
Okay. Average up
It
for
was pulling
something.
teeth, pulling teeth. I was trying.
Okay. Well, do you have any questions or thoughts?
No,
Sure.
no.
No.
I think you all obviously thought through it, and we appreciate you.
I had one just general question.
Yeah.
If she do get a award for the surgery, do they put? We're wondering, like, do they put that in a? You're saying that maybe not. You might put it in a trust that it's for her to make sure that she had the surgery, or
No, usually they'll just, in closing arguments, say, ladies and gentlemen, she's telling you she's going to need this at a future time. You would award it to her. She'd probably decide whether to keep it.
She
If
may
it's-
not get it and
She
spend
may
that
not,
money
but
on-
generally it's difficult if you haven't had the surgery for juries to award it. I will say that. It's just,
Okay.
it's tough.
Yeah, because you would go ahead and get it and then
Yes.
try to get reimbursed.
Yes.
And the
She's
fact that she
looking
went
to
straight
get it paid for.
to sitting down and watching the rest of the show, it didn't seem like
Well-
she was, you know, and sometimes these incidents can happen later, like a car accident. You'll feel
Yeah.
it the next day. But, and it may be over time, so it's kind of hard to, you know.
Let me ask you
it's a little
this.
tough on me to answer whether or not the back problem did really come from that, or she already had that for a problem for a long time, but it just kind of opened it up more, or activated.
Well, there's a charge for aggravation. I'm pretty sure we put in there that you could have an existing issue and then it could be aggravated.
That would
She
have
suffered
been-
a stroke, is that correct? A
Yes.
year before that?
Yeah.
And did that cause any other, was she on medication, was she on any other?
No, there's no other records of
process?
anything else.
Okay.
Does anyone here believe that she might have had degenerative issues that were aggravated as opposed to created?
I don't even know that they would be aggravated
Yeah.
that much by that incident.
I thought
Well-
that's a possibility, but
But I think it was.
But that Gwinnett Center's got to take that on. You know,
Yeah.
people come in there with health problems all
Okay.
the time. They don't say, "Hey, if you got back problems, you can't come in here." You know, so
What did you think about these stadium seats just flipping over like that? What was everyone's
We were
thoughts on
trying to
that?
figure out how her left leg, if she says she turned right to see the straight roll, and when the guy went like this, while she was walking, it hit her on
Yeah.
that left
how
leg.
to clip her
and
left
calf.
leg and not her right leg.
Yeah, and that's why these other witnesses would kind of describe it. It's kind of bizarre.
And did they get hurt?
Be the right.
Did they get hurt or just her?
Just her, because she was the only one. These are 4 seats she was in front of.
I did have a question.
Yeah.
The guy on the end who got his toe cut,
Yes,
did he sue and what did he
we
get?
don't know.
I'd be
Nobody
curious about that. That's something I wrote down in my notes, you know.
Did
She
anyone
got
feel
burned.
that
The jury couldn't look at that anyway, right?
that's
Why?
correct?
Yeah,
They couldn't?
Yeah, they
Oh.
couldn't.
Yeah. So, she said there was one individual. What about the individuals pushing back? Do you think they did anything wrong? The patrons? That actually maybe they pushed back too far? Or?
I did kind of think that when I was listening
Some
to it,
people
when it said all of them
lean
kind
back
of went
for
back,
people,
the
yeah.
and the seats flipped. I
They
thought
don't know
that
that
might
the
have
seats
had
you don't
were
something to do
bolted
with
right.
it.
down.
Seats gonna
or
strap
Right, I don't
You're
know, but I
assuming
thought when I heard
Okay.
it.
What
that
about the
they-
duty to inspect the seats on a constant basis because there was an inspection at some point earlier. There's, you
And they said they just
Well,
inspect
it
it
is-
once a year. I
That
would
was
think.
somebody obviously filled out the inspection paperwork, but they obviously they didn't expect it.
Yeah.
They
Was anyone
did-
mad at the arena when they thought about this shouldn't have happened, or anyone think like that? or-
Yeah, of
No,
course.
it shouldn't.
The
No.
arena should
Shouldn't.
be.
It's-
The arena should be responsible.
It's not a
for that
freak
kind of thing.
accident. It's an accident caused by negligence.
Does anyone think the arena should be responsible for more than just pain and suffering and medical bills, like punished?
Ooh.
No.
No?
Well, that's
I
why you have
think they need to
insurance.
That depends on
change
how
their
many
policy
people-
because it said that their
Nobody got
inspection
killed.
is once a year. And if there's temporary seating there that gets strapped down, that should probably be inspected before every event.
Had she
Yeah.
lost a
So-
leg, then I would say, yeah,
Yeah.
that's more
Yeah.
serious
Yep.
and dangerous. You know, that's wrong.
Yeah, so the big issue, one of the bigger issues was the delay in treatment.
Yeah.
And juries wrestle with people not getting in right away. It's one thing to take away for your all. So if you know anyone that's hurt, I always tell them, get in because people think they're gonna heal
And I
up.
do know, like with whiplash, you won't even notice that your neck or any head or anything's hurting, maybe for a few days or even a week, you know, before
Yeah.
you can notice that. So, but
But it seems like the biggest, when you do percentages in these, was because of the delay. Is that right?
We were.
That's the
I
main
was
reason.
wondering, did she have a delay? We could be self-employed. Did she not have this type of insurance? Do you feel like it justified? I know some people, based on their insurance, they have a higher co-payment. I was just wondering, did that have any factor?
That's not something that insurance is never mentioned to a jury because it sways one way or another. Oh, the insurance is gonna pay it. So there can be no mention in the trial about insurance.
So just to summarize, how many of you, just raise your hand if you did not think that the back injury, I think I know the answer, but just so we know, did not think that the back injury was caused by what happened at the arena? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 6. Okay. And how many of you thought that her damages award should be less or lower because of the delayed treatment? 5 out of 6. Okay.
And you were not sure. Do you think the delay in treatment should lower her award or?
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
That's a hard question.
But the
because,
reality is y'all averaged everything out when it came
Yeah.
to get to that number.
And with the medical, so many questions. I know I'm a little biased because my mother got in a car accident. Her knees got hit twice, and 10 years later, her back issue was, oh, you had a car accident, you know, back to back in 3 years. And she always talked about her knees, and then 10 years later, went from talking about her knees to her back.
You brought up a good issue because what normally happens at jury selection is people are asked, hey, what's your experience with injury? And
Right.
that would have come out and they would have taken you off.
Yep.
Is there
Because
anybody here that would be very pro-defense that think they would have been like, no, I'm defense-minded. I'm looking for the defense. I
Right,
think,
so it's depending who asked me the question,
Yeah.
it would depend on whether I got
Well.
selected or not.
yeah.
I mean, I know she said she had a high pain, I don't know if she had a high pain tolerance, but to me, it sounds like she does in some degree. She was kind of holding back because she had to take care of her mom and her husband. And, but she still maneuvered around. She was not, the doctors didn't stop her from saying, hey, you can't drive too much, you can't do this. She said she couldn't climb the ladder, she continued working a bit, she couldn't do some stuff before. So throughout this whole time, I mean, I'm sure the tensions and, maybe she was building the pain, and that may have been why her back got worse and worse. Because back problems can come from so many dimensions, and it may have been that, maybe it could have triggered. That's why it's a hard answer. I couldn't answer that because it could have triggered.
I've done caregiving for more than one person at a time and had very busy schedule with
But there's no
multiple
evidence
jobs
of it.
and school and things like that all at once. And there's always, if you're in pain and you've got an issue, you can find 30 minutes or an hour out of one day somewhere in the week to go get some treatment.
Well, a younger person could, but sometimes an older person, I
What
notice
doctor you go
as
to,
people
you get
get
in and out
older,
in an hour.
they sometimes don't be as on point as when you were, you be a younger man, and then you were even younger when you were doing that. You have to more get up and go. I just notice sometimes when people get older, they
Yeah.
tend to not be proactive as
That's a
they
good
should.
point.
And she never complained about, she never had a back problem, is what she said. She's never had a back problem, there's no evidence on that.
Yeah, no evidence.
So that's why it was kind of like, because maybe this did trigger.
But again, had she treated right away, that would change everyone's evaluation
Yeah.
and stayed
Absolutely.
consistent. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else. Jennifer, you've been working on this too. Any thoughts?
No, I think y'all
Yeah, great job.
very good job. I think very thorough.